Being a screenwriter in Hollywood had to be the most invigorating time of my life.
Now it's a whole different town from what it was then.
Yeah, well, back then you had the studios.
You had the studios and you had the stars then.
Back then, everybody knew each other.
Yeah, like a village.
It was like a small village.
And everyone knew you and you knew everyone.
And you made movies, that's what you did.
And we met a lot of people.
Oh, wonderful people.
People we still remember to this very day.
Absolutely. Well, there was Charlie Chaplin.
Oh, he was a mean and horrible
Charlie
man.
Chaplin had the worst temperament of anyone in Hollywood.
And I have met many mean, horrible men, but this man was filled with venom and never had a nice thing to say about it.
He was horrible.
He would use that cane like a machete, and he would clothesline you with the cane.
I got a welt on the back of my look at this. You see? That came from that
awful.
Goddamn cane.
And those scars don't go away.
Shirley Temple had the worst mouth of any young lady I'd ever
like
had.
A sailor.
Absolutely. You know,
she
Bill Bojangles Robinson, you know, that word Bojangles is actually just a polite adaptation of what Shirley called him in real life. And
we can't repeat what that said because it was an awful racial epithet.
Horrible. It was terrible.
But she called that, and because she was Shirley Temple, the nickname had to stick, and he hated it.
And Buddy Epson? I mean, come on, it's obvious. It's obvious what that was originally. If she called you Buddy, well, then you were Buddy. His real name, of course, as everyone knows, is
Everett.
Hank.
I thought it was Everett.
Clark Gable was the biggest sissy in Hollywood.
Oh, I couldn't understand what his problem was.
Called his mother after every take.
He would finish a take and he'd give his mother a call and he'd ask her, I think this is how it went, Mom, what do you think? And she'd get on the phone with Louis B. Mayer, and there was always a big altercation.
You know,
it took years to finish a picture with Clark Gable. Fred Astaire once killed a man in anger.
He hit him with a purse.
He hit him with the purse and then strangled the life out of him.
We all carried purses, some of us. Look,
that was fine.
Back in those days, you didn't have such a thing as homosexuality.
No, you were either a drinker or not a drinker.
And Fred was a drinker.
Everybody, you know who was wonderful? Was Walter Pidgeon.
Walter Pidgeon was a wonderful man.
And the thing about Walter Pidgeon was he had no feeling in his fingers.
Constantly dropping things.
He would try and pick something up and he'd drop it, and you'd never see a picture of him holding anything because he couldn't feel it in his hand.
He never had it to begin with.
But he could hold his liquor.
He was a big
drinker, and he could play cards with the best of them.
Absolutely. One of the finest directors of photography I ever worked with was Robert Oppenheimer.
Bob Oppenheimer.
He was a wonderful technician, and he had a wonderful eye.
He knew everything about the science of photography, and he used it.
But I tell you, the sad thing is that...
the war came along.
Well, the war came along, and he joined up like all of us did. And when he got back, he was just a mess.
It was terrible.
They put him in... I understand they sent him to Manhattan.
Some kind of weapons, I don't know, whatever you work with.
But, you know, I tell you, if you're working in New York City and you got a couple of bucks in your pocket...
Well, then, you know, the ladies are there for the asking.
And you're in a uniform, I mean...
Why leave?
You know who I never got along with was that goddamn Charlie McCarthy.
Oh, please.
And that fella he was always hanging around with. What was his name?
Edwin?
Eddie?
I don't know. He's a big fella with a top hat.
I sat next to them both at an awards dinner in Los Angeles, and that Charlie McCarthy, he didn't say a word the whole night. He was the most smuggest son of a bitch.
A little bastard would never say anything. And
I don't know whatever happened to that Charlie McCarthy, but good riddance to him. He was a pain in my ass.
Jesus Christ, and he wouldn't give you the time of day. I mean, I tried sitting with him after Edgar got up and was dancing.
He wouldn't talk to him.
And he wouldn't say a word.
They say he was foreign and English was a second language.
I didn't believe that.
Absolutely not. He was just a smug son of a bitch.
That cockeyed monocle in his eye, and I wanted to swat him.
I was at the White House the night Errol Flynn sodomized Harry S. Truman.
Oh, what a night that was.
Actually, Errol got a lot of criticism for never doing an army picture during the war.
He didn't like to do that.
After you've sodomized the commander-in-chief of the armed forces...
There's no more battles to win, as far as he's concerned. That was...
We just frankly didn't feel it was in good taste.
No.
But Hollywood is not the same place. It's not the same place. It's not the same town. I mean, for Christ's sake, they make a movie for about as much as,
It costs thousands of dollars now, And then you've got your big stars like your John Saxons and your Carol Lindleys pulling down God knows how much money.
Oh, crap.
But you know, if you think about it, it always comes down to money.
Absolutely.
I mean, money has always ruined a lot of things for people.
I don't know how Billy feels, but I'm glad I'm not writing in Hollywood anymore. I don't like any of the people. I mean, I loved everybody back then.
But I wouldn't change anything about the old days. I mean, everybody was wonderful, and I
Except
think...
for Danny Kaye.
What a prick.